Hey guys, we're going to be talking about histograms today. Histograms are very similar to bar graphs. So you've probably seen a histogram or two, but you just didn't know it. You probably thought you were looking at a bar graph. But there's some distinct differences between a histogram and a bar graph. The first one, if you take a look at the graph on your notes, the National ACT exam scores, you'll notice first of all that the bars are touching. So there'll be no spaces in a histogram. So that makes it a little bit different than a bar graph, which is usually comparing items. Also, if you look on the x-axis, you'll see ranges. We call these intervals. These intervals are going to be the exact same size, so it'll be the same number of data points in between. And they're going to separate the bars so that you know what that bar is talking about. If you look on the y-axis, you'll notice that it's always going to be some kind of frequency. So the number of times that is occurring. So the number of times that people score between 11 and 15 is about 17, I guess, 16, 17, yeah. So about 17 people have scored between 11 to 15. Okay, so this side is always talking about frequency, how frequent that happens. All right, so let's fill in some of your blanks. Histograms show data in intervals, which is what we just talked about, or ranges. They are similar to bar graphs, but each bar touches the other. And they are similar to a dot plot because they represent the overall shape and spread of the data. Some examples, if you're talking about decades. Okay, in other words, in the 70s, that would be from 1970 all the way up to 79. Then the 80s would be from 80 to 89. The 90s, 90 to 99. And you can tell that it's the exact same number of years in each of the intervals. So your intervals will have the exact same number in each. All right, so let's take a look at the National ACT exam scores. It says data from the National ACT exam is shown in the histogram at the right. How many scores were included in the data set? So in order for us to figure that out, we would have to find how many scores each bar represents. So when we're looking at 1 to 5, it looks like, if you look closely, that's 1 score. 6 to 10, that's also 1 score. 11 to 15, I think that's the one we just did, and we said that was 17 people. 16 to 20, that is 34 people, because it's right about there. 21 to 25, I'd say that was 28. Let's see if I'm right. Yay! So that's 28. And then 15, so 16 actually, it's just right above 15. And 31 to 35 looks to be about 3. All right, so we would need to add up all of these numbers. So that's 2 plus 17, 19. 19 plus 34 is 53. 53 plus 28, let's see, that's 70, 81. Yeah, 81. And then that's 97, and 97 plus 3 is 100. So there are 100 total scores included. So we just listed the number for each of the ranges or each of the intervals. For interval 1 through 5, it was 1. 6 to 10 was 1. 11 to 15 was 17. 16 to 20, 34. 21 to 25, 28. 26 to 30 is 16. And 31 to 35. So let's answer some of the questions based on what we just talked about. Number 1, what is the range of scores? No, wait, sorry. Which range of scores represents 17% of the data? So we're going to look and see out of 100, which one is 17 out of 100? Because that would be 17%, right? So it looks like ages 11 to 15. Or I'm sorry, the ACT score of 11 to 15 represents 17%. What percent of the scores are included in the 21 to 25 range? Well, we know that it's 28 out of 100. So what percent is that? 28%. What two age ranges make up more than 60% of the sample? I'm thinking it's 16 to 20 and 21 to 25. Let's see, 34 plus 28. Didn't we just say that was, sorry, I don't know how to add. Okay, 12, let's see, that's 62. So I would say 62% was more than 60%. So we're going to go with age ranges 16 to 20, ACT ranges, and 21 to 25. I keep calling them ages. So sorry. All right, number 4, how does the number of scores between 11 and 15 compare to the number of scores between 26 and 30? So 11 to 15 is, let's see, number 17. And 26 to 30 is 16. So they're very similar. So not too far off from one another. This is just one more than 26 to 30. So I would say that those are pretty similar. Number 5, write 3 statements about the graph below, 2 that are true and 1 that is false. Now you can't use mine, but here's an example. One that is true, ACT ranges 1 to 5, the interval 1 to 5, and 6 to 10 scores are the same. Sorry if I stole yours. And 31 to 35 range represents 3% of the total. Okay, a false statement. Let's see. I'd say the interval scores of 26 to 30 represents more than 20% of the total. So that would be the false one. All right, number 6, determine the total number of library patrons surveyed. So, okay, what I want you guys to do is I want you to take both of these histograms and I want you to pause the video and then talk as a group, decide what the answers are for 6 through 12, and then you can compare with your friends and then play the video to see if you were right. All right, pause your video now. Okay, here are all of the answers for those that you just worked, 6 through 12. I hope this makes sense. Please let me know if you have any questions and get started on your homework. Don't forget that the homework needs to be uploaded to Canvas. You'll see the assignment link on your announcements page. If you'll just hover over where it says homework number, let's see, what number is this? Homework number 4 on Friday. You should be able to click on that and upload your assignment. All right, you guys have an amazing weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday.